Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This current stage of my fish room renovation is pretty much almost done now. I can do a quick montage here of me putting the plumbing on, and then I want to get to the main point I have for this video, which is hooking up the air manifold for the new pump. My intent is to hook up this new pump to the old one, which is on the other side, and then that way, if there happens to be an issue with one pump, I should be able to at least partially run the fish room just off of the one. Now the good thing about this stand where it was, and the fact that all I did was just modify the lengths of the legs, I really didn't have to do too much leveling. It turned out pretty good, so that's a bonus, because for the most part it had been a bit of a nuisance recycling. So I just put these bolts on, it keeps it nice and sturdy. And the other aspect you're going to notice as I go through the plumbing for this is the plumbing is not going to turn out as nice as as I would like it to. Let's just put it that way. It's perfectly functional, but the problem with recycling old fittings, so those fittings right there are all, as you can see with the way they're a bit of glue in the bottom there, those are the old ones. These two here, the bushing and the T-joint, they're new because it's very difficult to recycle those sorts of things. So connecting old to new, sometimes it just doesn't work out well. I mean, this is fine. I mean, this is just a quick joint here. I always do the two closest, the ones that have no real pipe in between them, because it's very difficult to get them into place any other way. Like if I had tried to plumb the one to the left first and then do that one to the right, it just doesn't work out well. So that one actually, this one here is pretty good. But as we go through, you'll notice that there are kind of little bits of zigs and zags. There's one there on the right. Like I said, it's difficult to take tanks that have been in position and on, like over on the other side, and plumb them to be straight, and then take that plumbing and then try to reconnect it over here, which is a completely different setup, and have it completely straight. It just doesn't work out. And that's probably what the biggest bow was in that one there on the left. But as I said earlier, this is functional, and because it's recycled, it was very cheap to do. All I had to do was buy some fittings and a few bushings, and everything else is recycled. It's all from before. Now, one other thing I did differently in this one is, you'll see at the bottom, it drops down and then goes over. I want to be able to change all the water on these all at the same time, and this will prevent any kind of backflow. On the other system, if I change all the tanks at once, one of them, just one, will get a little bit of backflow in it, and I didn't want that. The easiest way of getting around that, of course, is just to change a few at a time, which is what I do. But this way I should be able to turn them all on and do the whole recycle, and they're going to drain down that pipe there. So that's pretty much that done, which is cool. And these are the pieces I just couldn't reuse, though I could probably cut some of these off and reuse them later in other projects, which I'll probably do and just store them in my scrap bin for now. So now on to the important part of this, which is getting the air pump set up. So I built this little platform. It's just a quick job, and that's going to go up top. It's always important, if you're going to go to the trouble of buying one of these larger pumps. They're not that expensive, but if you put them down low and you end up with a power failure and backflow into it, it is going to be a nuisance that you're just not going to be happy with. So this keeps it above the water line. There won't be any backflow at all. And this is the manifold that came with it. It's actually fairly functional. And for a few days I was actually using it because I set up a couple of these tanks, because I went to a fish auction on Monday of this week, and I had a few fish, so I set those tanks up and I just had it quickly running. And it's fine. It does what it needs to do, but it's not what I want for this. I want to be able to spread the outputs for these over a fair amount of distance, so that they're actually hanging over the tanks that they're going to go on. The first part of this clip I actually had intended to save for a later date, because as I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing some the best and worst of the DIYs for this year, and actually probably for part of last year as well. And it was going to be part of that, but it was on here. I was clearing up a bit of an algae bloom, because I was putting way too many guppies in that tank way too fast. But I left it on there just so you can see it, and I also want to show you this, which is the old manifold, well, the manifold that came with it, as it was hooked up before I decided to build this one. Air manifolds are actually really easy to make. This is just a piece of 1/2-inch PVC. The end cap is just stuck on there. There's enough fit between them that you don't have to worry about much air loss. And then all I did is I took some 1/4-inch acrylic, and I put a bevel on one end and tapered the other one down to fit standard airline. It's 1/4-inch, so all I do is drill a 1/4-inch hole in the pipe and fit it in, and then of course make a few more of them, as you can see here. That's it. The rest of it is just like I don't know what it's called, Lincoln logs or whatever the set is from when you were kids, that you just stick a bunch of pieces together and build something out of it. That's all this is, really. It's just elbows and pipe, and all you do is stick it all on. Now I want this this pump here, I want it to be piped up to the top, to the roof where the rafters are there, and then I'm going to run it across to the other one. So you see on the right there's a T-junction. That's going to head across to the other rack, and then the other part of the T is going to continue on and run this new rack, and then I put this on here, which is going to run the top part of that tank, which, if you remember from way back, is going to have the 5-stage airlift. I'm going to have that in this tank, and I'm going to have it run by this. So I have actually 6 outlets on that. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see, and that's a project coming out really soon now. So that's pretty much that. I mean, that's this video. I filled up the tanks. Actually, this is kind of something interesting. I was just doing a water change, so I just took off the hose and then ran the water change into this bucket and used that to fill up the couple of tanks that I'm running currently. So this part here is the part that will interest the Patreons. These are the people who signed up, and the number of their names here just represent what level they signed up for. I'm just going to cut those out, put them in a bin like I've always done for draws, pull the name out, and that person will win the mail out for the filter. If you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe. I will truly and greatly appreciate that. And I am going to continue now that the renovation is done with some filter builds and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, there's lots of stuff to do, so stay tuned, and hopefully you'll find it all very interesting. So there you go, Sandy. Congratulations, you are the first winner, which is kind of cool because you were the first one to sign up for Patreon. It just kind of worked out that way, so that's kind of neat. And this is the important bit for everybody that's signed up for that. Even though you've won, your name goes right back into the bin, and you can win many times. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.